Starting to feel the contractions. I feel like they're... What's up, guys? Good morning. Shalanda saying cheese. Yeah, Shalanda is recording now. Yep, she has the camera. Yep. Are we all done? Wow, good job, girl. Yeah, good job. Okay, now my contractions are 3 minutes apart. He's over there sleeping, and I'm letting him sleep because nothing's really popping right now. Oh, Lord. He's here. Go another one. There go another one.
Really?
I even slept through them, and they were like, "What?" I don't know what's wrong. Like, I guess that's a good thing. So when I say it's wrong,
At least you know when you push, you won't really feel nothing.
I look a mess, but this is me just having a baby. This is why I look like this. Okay, so I delivered a baby by myself. What's up, guys? So I know y'all noticed something different about me. I had the baby. I had him at 36 weeks and 3 days, so he came a whole like 3 weeks early, y'all. And I am excited to tell y'all my labor and delivery. Oh my God, I'm just so excited. Like, I feel like a champion. Like, this is gonna be my personality for the rest of my life. Now, we're in the bathroom because my kids are using the table. Today's Valentine's Day. They dumped out all their stuff on the table, so my table's occupied. So I said, let's use the bathroom then. Okay, so my normal appointment didn't go as normal as I thought. So I literally was at the school with my son for his little fundraiser event, me and my husband. And I go to my appointment. Now for, I say a few days, maybe weeks, like, I guess I was leaking fluid, but I thought I was like peeing myself. But at the same time, I didn't want to say anything because my last doctor traumatized me so much that I was afraid to tell my doctor what I was experiencing because, you know, yeah, if you know, you know. We always get shut down. Just scared to say something. So when I went to my appointment, I had an ultrasound done because that was my ultrasound appointment to check on the baby. And the ultrasound lady, she just was acting weird. And like, she only showed me like, she was just like, "Oh, baby, sit down." And then she just showed me the heartbeat, and she just stared at the ultrasound for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So in my head, I'm like, something definitely must be wrong because she's like not saying anything. She didn't print out any pictures for me or anything. So I was just like, something's wrong. Like, she didn't measure baby at all, like nothing. So I'm like, okay, like what's wrong? What's going on? What done happened? So I get into the room with my doctor, and before my doctor gets there, the nurse, you know, was in there first, and she was like, "Oh, do you have anything that you've been experiencing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I've been leaking fluid, but I'm like not sure. I don't know if I'm peeing myself, but like I have to change my underwear 2 to 3 times a day, like they're like soaking wet." And she was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was telling her I had a bad pain down here, so like I had to use the wall to walk this morning because it was so painful. And so my doctor came in and she was like, "You ready to have a baby?" I'm like, "Oh my God, yes." But you know, like when your doctor says like, "Oh, you ready?" I was just like, "Yes, yeah, I am." So I'm being pregnant. And she was like, "Yo, you're having a baby today." I was like, "What?" Like literally, y'all, I was so confused. I thought she was joking, being sarcastic, and she was like, "No, we're having a baby today." I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "I'm sending you over to labor and delivery." She's like, "You have no fluid in there. Like your baby, no fluid in there." And I'm like, so I was leaking fluid. So like, now I'm sad because I'm like, oh my God, like I could have did something to my baby. Like I should have said something. Like I was just like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah, like she was telling me why the ultrasound lady was like just staring at the thing because I didn't know what that was. I don't know what I was looking at. She was like, "Yeah, you have no fluid in there, da 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 da." So I was like, okay. So she had to, send me over to labor and delivery to get induced, to reduce infection to baby. Over to labor and delivery, of course. When I get there, the nurse that I had, oh my gosh, she was the sweetest person ever. Like all the nurses I had during labor and delivery were so sweet, to be honest. They were amazing, sweet, encouraging, all of that. They went ahead and started me on Pitocin. She slowly increased it, and I told her I was so terrified of Pitocin because I got induced with my last 3 pregnancies, and no, not last 3. I said last 3 with my first pregnancy and with my daughter, which was my 4th pregnancy. I got induced, and I just have terrible terrors of Pitocin. And she was like, okay, you know, we're going to try to make sure you don't have those terrors. So she was slowly increasing it, but like, I just wasn't really feeling the contractions. Like, I literally was walking around the room. I was taking naps. She was like, girl, she was like, usually women are climbing up the wall by the time they reach, you know, 10 milligrams of Pitocin. She's like, and you're just sitting here taking naps and chilling and walking around. Like, that's really what I was doing. I think she increased it all the way up to, don't quote me, but I think it was 16 milligrams of Pitocin. They had to turn it down because they didn't want me to labor too fast, because I wasn't dilating. So I was just like, you know, chilling. I was bouncing a little ball, and I love how the nurses like let me labor the way I wanted to. I didn't have to stay stuck to the bed. They didn't, you know, hoover over me. They left the room. They came back in and checked me periodically. They didn't bother me. You know, it was just, I felt free because all of my other pregnancies, the nurses stood in the room the entire time. They forced me to stay in the bed. They said I couldn't stand up in labor. It was just so annoying. And I like, laboring on your back is so terrible. So like, this hospital, they let me labor the way I wanted to, and I loved it so much. Like, I got to stand up. I got to sway side to side. They even gave me the little birth ball to sit on. They just let me do what I do, you know? And I would say around 9-ish, maybe 10, you know, my OBGYN came in and she broke the rest of my water bag. Like, when she broke it, like, it was enough to fill up a shot glass, y'all. Like, it was literally no, like, it was nothing, honestly. I had to finish recording on my phone because my camera literally just freaking died. Oh, I'm so hot. That's when the contractions started picking up, and like, literally I was like sitting there and I was starving. I was so hungry. Like, oh my God, I wanted to eat so freaking bad. But anyway, at 10:51, she checked me. I was 6 centimeters, right? And so I was just like, I told myself I'm about to get this baby out. I can't, I'm hungry, I'm starving. This baby's gonna come out. Like, it has to come out. So like, I was in a little birth ball, just bouncing. And I remember I was just sitting there breathing through everything. I didn't scream, y'all. I breathed through literally every contraction, did not scream or nothing. You know, I always told, if you scream, that's just gonna waste your energy. It's gonna make things worse. So I in my head, I have anxiety really bad. So I had to stay calm because I was like, if I freak out, it's gonna be a disaster. So I'm like breathing, you know, slowly in and out. And my baby's crying. Okay, so now he's eating. So let's continue this story. I remember I took one last deep breath. Something told me to bend down. Mind y'all, there was no medical professionals in the room. There was no nurse in there, no doctor in there. I bent down and I just started pushing, and I felt the ring of fire, and that's how I knew his head was coming. And when I tell y'all, I was so terrified to look down. I was scared. Like, I wanted to do a home birth so bad, but I couldn't, obviously. And I always wanted to like catch my own baby. And I got to catch my own baby, but I was like so scared. And I remember I was bending down and I was quiet. And my husband was like, what are you doing? And I was like, he's coming. He's coming. And I said, he's coming. No, I said the baby's coming. But I had a dream it was a boy. Because remember, y'all, I didn't know the gender of the baby. I think I either said he's coming or I think I said the baby's coming. And he was like, what? And like, he pulled a little emergency plug and then he ran away to get a nurse. By the time they came in, he was already out. Like, I was pushing him out and he was like halfway out, and I was scared to touch him, like to grab him. And I was like, okay, just do it. And I bent down. Bent down. I pushed my hand down there and I just like pulled him out. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I was just holding him while I was like squatting, y'all. I'm squatting on the floor and there was a towel under me. So I'm squatting, like holding my baby. And like the nurses come in, they like grab him. And then I'm like, oh, I try to stand up. And she's like, wait, don't stand up too fast. And like, I was just like, oh my God, I need to sit in the bed. Like, it just felt so relieved. Like, oh my God. They got me in the bed. They cut the umbilical cord as I was standing up. And then my doctor delivered my placenta. And I told my doctor, I go fast. I said, I had, 2 nurse deliveries. So I go fast. Like, I try to tell her, like, you know, my body just, phew, it was like 3 pushes and he was out. So yeah, that's like my fun labor and delivery story. I love both of my nurses, my night nurse and my I guess you could say afternoon nurse. Awesome, wonderful nurses. I love them so much. Oh my god, they just they made me. I just had a very calm birth. For my last birth, it was very calm. It wasn't chaotic like my other births, and I loved it. And I think that's why I got to labor like so gracefully, because it wasn't like traumatic at all. Like, I honestly loved it. Oh, and I didn't tear at all. I was scared that I tear, but no tearing, no nothing. I was also scared because I'm anemic. So like, I was the blood loss and everything was just like on my mind, like heavy, like, oh my god, am I okay? Like, she's living my placenta, like, am I fine? But everything was fine. I was okay. I was like, okay, good. Whew. So yeah, that is my awesome like labor and delivery story, y'all. I'm gonna use that for the rest of my life. Every time somebody's talking to me, I'm like, girl, did you know I delivered my own baby? Also, you guys have gone crazy with the baby registry. Like, I have a whole bunch of things next to me I'm gonna show you guys. And I have more things coming in the mail. And then y'all are still buying stuff off of there. Like, oh my god, y'all are like awesome. Like, it makes me like so happy that strangers love my baby. And like, just my whole family. It just makes me so happy. Like, I love Shalanda, I love the boys. Like, oh my god, I just love the love. I'm probably gonna open all of the gifts probably on my live. So y'all won't see it on here, but thank you guys. So I promise I will show y'all everything. And there's more stuff behind me, but like, I'm feeding him, so I can't turn my body a full like 360.